right. Went for 11-11 barracks 2 games in a row. What's game number 3 going to be for this guy from LGIM? It's Happy. Goomba eyebrows. Cut the bangs a little bit, as mentioned in game 2. His opponent to the top left in the blue, formerly of the team Enes Hosa, traveled around quite a bit, in fact, in search of a foreign team. It's San, as known as San Zenith. A lot of people like to call him Man Zenith. He was once dubbed the Whack-A-Mole Protoss by Tasteless because he was able to always get expansions up even after losing them. He may be the sole reason why the Kyogre Amulet was removed from the game. That's something that is still discussed to this day. Happy looking a little bit sick there in the booth. In fact, you can see him to the bottom left. Having a little cough. Hopefully he's doing okay. A lot of people get sick. It's getting a little bit colder here in Seoul. I've been really busy traveling around. I have not had 24 hours to myself in I don't even remember how long, but that's okay. I like the cold weather, and when I walk around outside and it's cold, I feel better no matter what's happening. Now, obviously, you guys can see here, we have the barracks on the high ground. Nissan is actually checking very carefully with his probe. He wants to make sure that there's no proxy action going on. Well, I take it back. He doesn't check as carefully as he could. He's just going to go check for his opponent's position on the map. But either way, Happy is going to play the late game on this one. You know, when you have 2 smaller maps, well, the second map was not as big as the first one. The second map is pretty small. I like the choice to do that, especially after the success in game 1 that we saw. Barracks is done. Orbital is started for Happy. 1 Rax expanding, as you would expect from any normal Terran player. Back at home, San has taken 1, but not 2 gases. And this indicates, of course, normal 1 gateway expansion type play. Command Star has been planted now. Probe is checking the bottom right location. Fortunately for him, he's going to get the last scout, which means that the second Marine will be long out in time for Happy to deny him. He's going to camp it at the bottom of the ramp, the secondary ramp, so the probe can't see the command center. Opposite lead here now, Happy will be able to get in the main base.
Ready.
The first Zealot is out, sees no second gas, and also sees the Chrono on the core. Did not see the third pylon, I don't think, though. And that's something you always want to check for if you can, as a Terran. Because the third pylon being in the main indicates there's no Stargate play, no sort of forward robotics going for one of those 4 gateway warp prism attacks. If you see the third pylon, then you're golden. That's the rule. But he does not actually get that scout off, unfortunately for him. Not going to be too big of a deal in this particular scenario. Nexus will be planted here by the probe. And now he's even got the third Marine out. Did he kill the scouting probe? Yeah, he did in fact. Marine has a kill. Didn't even save the probe, so no information out for San right now. He's got to play very carefully here. And will he go 2 gates before Robo? Looks like it. He starts the first one. And now the second one. Now we're taking a look at the Terran player space where he's going up to 3 barracks with double gas. Both players actually playing as textbook as it gets in this game number 3. Which is exciting for me because I really would like to see San. You know, how has he improved? How has he declined? I mean, what shape is he in right now? He was able to qualify. I was not able to attend the actual qualifiers as I was traveling. But really curious to see what sort of shape he's in right now. Qualifying alone is a great indicator of skill. But let's find out what shape he's in. Let's find out together. Let's explore this. Robotics now going down as the Nexus finishes. And of course, Happy, not with any deviation, goes for Stim for combat shields. Will likely add his factory here around 100 gas. Gates are done. And everything is just shaping up to be a very passive game between these 2 players. On a map of this size, you can't blame them. It's so hard to attack. Even with the warp gate technology of the Protoss race, it's so hard to put pressure on this map. That's why Happy hasn't even made a second bunker. Despite the lack of information he has about what San has planned next, he's got a healthy Marine count, and in fact, he's going to poke down here. This is actually his way of checking for forward pylons. He shows his Marine count, and now San knows, okay, this is a normal build. I gotta be careful against this. This is a lot of Marines for me to deal with. As long as I know where they are, I don't have to be afraid. You can see Chrono Boost going down the Observer. He wants to get all the information about where his opponent is going to take his third. Is going to make it at the third base, is going to make it in his main. What is the factory timing? Is he hitting me with a 5 barracks all in? That's what he wants to find out. He's planted his forge as well. Another poke here, and now Happy says, I've got to be a little bit careful. I wasn't able to find a forward pylon, but one bunker is one way to just die, so he takes a second. Robotic support bay going down here pretty quick for San, just shy of the 8-minute mark. Starport finishing up at a normal time. +1 goes down off the single eBay, so we may see Happy hit with his 2 medevacs and +1 in combat shields around the same time. In fact, he may even have 4 medevacs out by the time that is done. Gonna have to walk across the map, and by that time the 5th and 6th will join. He's going to pressure at San's Ghost on the 3rd. He doesn't have it yet, but he will start to push out and take that. There's several different things San can do here. Because he has the Forge, it looks like he's actually going to just make 1 Colossus and then go into a Twilight Council. Start +2 armor, get Charge out, and then get his 2nd Forge, continue his upgrades, get his Temple Archives. Use that to take his third. Here's the first Colossus. Now we'll find out in just a few moments. If he takes range, we'll know it's going to be a multiple Colossus play. Observer just peeking around, gets some information here. Does not actually bump into that missile turret, which would have meant certain doom, in fact, had he run into that. And it is as predicted. The Twilight Council has been planted. You can see on the production tab. Well, actually you can't, but I can. Because I have a secondary computer, but you'll see it soon enough. He sees the move out as well with the Observer, and that's very critical. Because this actually may trigger a 2nd Colossus to be made. It makes the 2nd Colossus feel a lot more comfortable. In fact, starts the 2nd Observer instead, though. He does have a lot of sentries to buy time. And this attack from Happy is just designed to punish a possible third. He checks the normal location now. The factory's going to hover there. He's probably going to poke around the right side before he goes up here. He scans. The factory's a bit too slow. He wants to bait out some force fields now and then run into where there may be a possible nexus. He has not scanned the 3rd base location. He doesn't know if there's a nexus there. Medevac is loaded up, going around the right side. And that's also going to give him the vision he needs. No nexus here, he says. Now, he's going to do a multiple prong attack with just the first medevac. Already, there are 3 stalkers, though, and that's going to be enough. And the thing is, with sentries at the front, he can buy time. The Observer, will he get it? Yes, he does. And this is really important because now San doesn't know if he's going to drop into the main. And Happy actually needs to threaten that location if he wants to continue the attack. However, knowing that there's no 3rd nexus means that Happy can do something very special right now, and that's to start his own 3rd command center. Whether he starts it in his main or if he starts it as 3rd base, he can keep this pressure on without attacking and get that 3rd base up. San is checking for just that right now with his own Observer at the 3rd base of Happy. And because there's so much action going on right now, our Observer hasn't shown that, but the Observer just flew in to that 3rd command center location. The 2 medevac threat here has been shown. Now he drops the natural. He's going to get a few probes and he's going to want to get out. And great force fields here. Unfortunately, though, a gap. The reaction time was what was great about it, but what was not great was that he didn't actually get the hole plugged. Even so, though, the force field's now working against the Zealots, and the double drop and the main is really tearing San apart. Reinforcements are coming through here. And you know what? San is in a lot of trouble. He needs to pull his Colossus into his main, but that's when these units are going to come up. He's just being taxed. Multitasking-wise, his charge was not quite done before this hit. Another drop in the natural, and Happy is going to take an immense lead from this. In fact, it may not even be something that San can recover from. He can easily just lift out whenever he wants, drops back into the natural. Here, going to get a few more probes. He just saved these medevacs, though. A bit sloppy on the control there. And, in fact, does not save those units either. Here we go. More reinforcements streaming across the map as well right now. Probes being pulled. GG and Happy with a 3-pronged attack. Just decides to take his opponent and open him like a new Christmas present. Christmas comes early this year, and San Zenith, big fan favorite, old timer. You know, this guy played since the beginning of the GSL, since it started. He's out once again, still looking for a foreign team. And, you know, if you want to support him, go to his fan page, tweet at him. I don't know what his Twitter is, but you can look it up on Wikipedia, I'm sure. Just type in San Zenith Twitter, something like that. Should be able to find him. But you could do the same of LGIM's Happy, who will advance, I think, the big favorite today. A Code S player once made it to the round of 4. We'll move on. We're going to take a 5-minute break. When we get back, it's going to be Maru against Lucera.